All right, everyone. Biden's pandering is not going over so well, generally speaking. This is now the second time that he's been embarrassed with one of his racist programs. They're discriminatory in nature. The first was restaurant relief. You'll remember with the COVID stimulus idea, they're like, well, we're going to base some of the relief from damage done by blue state lockdowns mainly. We're going to base part of it on race, so we'll prioritize people who aren't white. And the court said you can't do that because that's discriminatory. Now the courts are putting on hold another program, and I think the end result will be the same, which is Biden loses and finds that he's not allowed to do this, which is a debt relief for farmers. The idea is that there's been long-term systemic discrimination against farmers of color. Now, this is not true. It happens. And I don't know why, by the way, people who are like of any color would want to get into farming, because it's kind of a thankless job when you think about it. What actually happens is farmers in general, sometimes they get relief. It can be earmarked and so forth, not on a racial basis, but farmers are overwhelmingly white. This is by choice, by and large. People who are non-white are going to tend more towards urban communities. This is just how it's been for a number of decades. It was by people's own choice where they chose to be, by and large. They went where the jobs were. They didn't want to go and till up 20 acres. Why would you want to be a turnip farmer anyway? So Biden wanted to grandstand. This is basically grandstanding. Now, technically, while he's embarrassed by this optically, he technically wins, because the Democrats then get to blame evil right-wingers or something for discriminating against the black farmers. We tried to help them, but we were stopped by idiots. So they get to grandstand to the people that really what they want is votes. But it was always doomed to fail. The problem is, this isn't like a college affirmative action or something, where the college may take public funding but is itself a technically quasi-private entity. This is the government taking tax money, deliberately earmarking it on a racial basis. It was never going to stand up in court. This is the fucking second time this has happened with Biden. And when you think about it, virtually everything that Biden has proposed falls into one of two categories: things that got cock-blocked, or things that didn't work. things that came up short and in some cases alienated large swaths of the electorate that did actually hold its nose to vote for him. Like, you remember that time that fracking was going to be banned? Well, it doesn't look like that. You remember the time that he wasn't going to attack the energy industry? You remember that stimulus? It was going to be $2,000, but then kept going down, and all the leftists shrieked bloody murder because they wanted more free $10. They wanted more $10 at the taxpayers' expense. You've got this. You've got the restaurant COVID relief. His infrastructure bill failing. The border crisis, where it looks like some people are speculating he literally put Kamala in charge there, knowing it was a situation that was out of control to damage her reputation. They're thinking Jill Biden did that as a backstabbing maneuver, like a Woodrow Wilson's wife style. Not 100% sure, but it's funny. Can we name an accomplishment of the Biden administration now, months into it? Can we name anything that he's actually accomplished? Again, this is supposedly more votes than anyone, 60% approval, everybody loves him, he's Grandpa Joe, he's like a warm sweater or a warm hug, and Orange Man bad. Basically, the people that do approve of him, a lot of them, again, they're either Dem partisans, so they're not really going to heavily disapprove him because he's a Democrat. This is partisan politics. Trump had this effect too. In-party loyalty was extremely high and still is. And people who are comparing him to Trump, or rather the straw man of Trump, which was the evil fascist who also suffered from brain damage. Now, of course, it's not reality, but it's perception, and perception over reality, generally speaking, within human systems. Keep that in mind. But this program was dead on arrival anyway. You can't just say, well, because of the color of your skin, I'm going to give you free money. Well, the government can't do that. Essentially, the government doesn't make money. It appropriates it from private sources. So that's like saying to the taxpayers, most of which are not black, we're going to take some of your money and effectively give redistributionist reparations to this very small group of people, which is non-white farmers. There aren't a lot of home farmers left anyway. Bill Gates keeps buying up all the land, so I guess a lot of McDonald's potatoes come from Bill Gates' farmland, and no wonder they're unhealthy and slowly swindling the life out of everyone that eats them. And yeah, Biden has failed yet again. Another embarrassment and a long, long line of embarrassments. Keep in mind, these policy failures are also tied in with him being the literal gaffe master and blaming every time he says something crazy on a stutter, a speech impediment, as some people term it. Oh man, this asterisk administration, it's really going well. All the Biden voters out there, none of them have buyer's remorse, by the way. I think based on what you see even just on Twitter, which is a liberal echo chamber, I think that his administration is pretty much dead in the water. That's about all. Peace out.